Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the preview of Manchester United versus Bournemouth. Here we have Krishna, as you all know, is a die-hard Manchester United fan. Let us ask him, Krishna, what do you think about the preview? And yeah, go on.
So uh, there is not much. There isn't anything to say about my team right now. We have been in an amazing form. We have like we haven't lost a game in the last 15 games. So I guess that answers my question here. If we take a look at the Bournemouth side, after the lockdown period, they have played 3 games and lost all three. One against Crystal
Yeah.
Palace, one against Newcastle, and one against uh, I'm not very sure.
Okay.
So the games, all 3 games, they have lost, and currently the state of the club is also in shambles. So
Yeah.
everything is in our favor, and I guess we should go and grab all those 3 points with 2 hands. I
So
know for a
yeah.
fact that we lost the game against them in their own home in November, but then that side we had was very different from what we have right now, and the form we are in, I guess this must be a cakewalk for us.
Yeah, I think in the game against Bournemouth in November, apparently you guys played Pereira in McTominay and so, yeah, this is now a completely different side as far as we've seen after the restart. So, yeah, what do you think the predicted lineup will be? Do you think Ole will go on with a much easier lineup? Because, as you told before, Bournemouth are in good shape right now. Or you think Ole will be going with the usual strong lineup? What do you think?
See, I don't find a point in changing the lineup that has already settled right now.
Okay.
And they shared a very good chemistry in the last 2 games, and we were completely dominant. And on top of that, after the 60th minute mark last game, all the main players were substituted and were given adequate rest for this game. So I
Okay.
don't think there would be much of changes in the starting lineup. And even tactically, I don't think there is any changes that is required because the way we are playing right now is the best I have seen in a long time, and I guess it should be a cakewalk for us.
So yeah, as far as we've seen in this game week, both Chelsea and Leicester City have suffered defeats. So obviously, it's important for United to take advantage of it. And do you think that in turn creates a pressure in the team because they badly need those 3 points? So do you think it will create an adequate amount of pressure, or do you think the United team will take it easy?
See, every other circumstances is favoring us. Leicester losing points, Chelsea lost the game, I think they should have won easily.
Yeah.
And then the upcoming matches for Leicester and Chelsea are quite difficult than what we have, in my opinion. So I guess if we don't finish in the top four, it is criminal. It is
Okay.
equal to a criminal offense if we don't finish in the top four. And added pressure is always there. There is like not a single game where you don't take pressure or you don't feel the pressure. Pressure will always be there. It's just that on that particular day in the pitch, how you handle it, and that is what that matters the most. And with the personalities we have in the team, like say Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire, Paul Pogba, everyone are born leaders, and then I guess it should be manageable and we will come through it.
Okay, so let us go into the predicted lineup right now. Krishna, what do you think Ole will pick for this game?
The goalkeeper slot is fixed. There isn't
Yeah,
going to be any change.
yeah,
There, David De Gea will don the gloves for Manchester United, and he has had a very good game last time around. After the Tottenham blunder, I don't think a lot of mistakes have been done by him. He saved
okay,
his part. He's playing a crucial role in playing the ball from the back. So I guess he's also in a good shape, and he will continue standing between the sticks.
yeah,
The most important aspect for tomorrow's game is the defense because they have very physical players like Nathan Ake, Steve Cook, Josh King. Everyone are aerially very strong, and they have a good they in set pieces they can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Even last time, I guess we considered a goal through set pieces,
Yeah.
if I'm not wrong. Joshua King.
Okay.
Aaron Van Bissaka was marking him, but unfortunately, it was a goal.
Okay.
So I guess if we are able to deal with the aerial presence, we should come through. So the defense is also going to be the same. Right back, Aaron Van Bissaka. He is at his best right now, and attacking wise also he's improving a lot. Even last match he had an assist and he played a huge role going forward and pressing the wingers,
Yeah.
opponent wingers. So I guess the right back will be Aaron Van Bissaka, and then the two centre backs Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof.
Very, very
I don't find it.
straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't find a need to change. Harry Maguire is really very strong, and he must step up for the game tomorrow. Once he gets control of the game, I don't think anyone else is better than him in aerial presence. So
Yeah.
I guess Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof will be the centre back pairing, and then left back will be Luke Shaw. I would have given or only would have thought of giving Luke Shaw rest if he had played the entire 90 minutes. Now that he had played only 60 minutes and had come off in the last game, I don't think there's a need for change. So Luke Shaw will go on the left back for Manchester United the next
Okay.
game.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident about that. Now let's go into the midfield. Midfield trio also it should be the same. Last
Okay.
time the entire limelight was stolen by Bruno, Pogba, Greenwood and stuff. But there was this unsung hero called as Matic.
Yeah.
He was
Exactly.
he was literally protecting the entire back line without getting exposed. If Aaron Van Bissaka or Luke Shaw or Brandon Williams go forward, he was there to cover them.
Yeah.
And an astonishing stat was that only Matic had 57 vertical passes last game.
Okay. Yeah. As
The
far as I've
game
seen the
before,
game, too, Matic stepped
yeah,
up
57,
brilliantly. Yeah.
57 vertical passes, the defensive line breaking passes. Whereas in January, before the signing of Bruno Fernandes, the entire team itself had 34 passes only, line breaking
Okay.
passes.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So it's a huge boost. Of course.
this is something that is very astonishing. And once Matic gets a hold of the game and gets a hold of his position, I think Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes will have more freedom to go forward and venture ahead to do what they do the best. So I guess Matic is an important figure in my lineup for tomorrow's game. He's really strong. He can pull a pass. He can shoot if there is a chance. So I guess Matic will be there. And then, as usual, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes will
Yeah.
be. Bruno Fernandes will necessarily operate as a number 10, and Paul Pogba will have a mixture of number 8 and number 10. So I'll go with Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes, and you saw their connection last game. They were brilliant. They were understanding each other's game of play. It is like two like-minded people playing. If something that Paul Pogba is doing, then Bruno Fernandes is able to catch what he's doing and is also able to support him. So this is something that is very important and that has been working out pretty well for Manchester United, in my opinion. So both
Yeah.
of their contribution will be very crucial in the center of the park.
Yeah.
Then
As far as the front three is concerned,
the front three is concerned, left wing will be donned by
Rashford.
Marcus Rashford. But the thing is, Rashford wasn't at his best in the last 2 3 games. But he had a long injury layoff too, so I necessarily can't blame him. But he's slowly getting back there. If you see the Tottenham game and the game against Norwich or the game against Brighton, you could see improvement in his game, and he is
Okay.
getting there day by day. And I guess this Bournemouth game would be a huge opportunity for him to step up. And if you see the last game against Newcastle, which Bournemouth played, Bournemouth versus Newcastle, all the goals came from the flank.
Okay.
The wingers were able to get in behind the fullbacks, and then they were crossing or cutting back or whatever stuff it was. So I guess with the space Rashford would get, and with the space he would get, he can easily get behind and have a very good game. And his contribution will be crucial to what will decide the result, is what I feel.
Yeah.
And then the right wing, obviously, after the performance by Greenwood last game, I don't
Game.
think there is anyone who can replace him at the moment. He can shoot,
Okay.
he can pass, he can play at the either he can play in all three positions. That is, he can play as a right winger, left winger, or a striker. They have a very good. All three have a very good chemistry, and they keep interchanging during the matches. And I feel that it is very important. And after the performance he stringed last game, I don't think there is anyone who can replace him at the moment.
Yeah, he's also known to be very, very good with both the feet. And
Yeah, he.
moreover, I also had an opinion on whether Daniel James should start or not, because he is a guy with, of course, he's very, very, he's pretty much struggling right now to establish himself in the lineup. And it is also important to have confidence in him. So, what do you think about that? And because Bournemouth is struggling right now, why not start a developing player like Daniel James, who has a point to prove, rather than starting Greenwood in the lineup?
See, uh, for a player to start a game, he has to prove his worth to the team. So
Okay.
basically, after the lockdown, what Greenwood has done, Daniel James hasn't even been close to him. And at this moment, if you drop Greenwood, will it be fair enough for Greenwood to sit in the bench? Is what my question is.
Okay.
I don't think it is fair for Greenwood because even he is an emerging player. What
Yeah.
he has had like 6 starts, 7 starts in the Premier League, I'm not very sure.
Okay.
So when he is emerging and when he is getting to his peak, why do you have to drop him and give a player who's struggling? Obviously, there is
Okay.
going to be the last 20, 25, 30 minutes for Daniel James to come in and create an impact and maybe, impress the manager and let him start the next game. But
Okay.
with what Greenwood has performed, I don't think he deserves to sit on the bench for this game.
Okay.
So
Enough.
I would go with Greenwood as my right winger and striker is Anthony Martial. Anthony Martial didn't have much of a role to play last game because everything was done by Bruno and Greenwood and Pogba and stuff. He just
Okay.
had to pull defenders towards his side. So and he was very much doing that. And the game before that, which we played against Sheffield, he had a hat trick. So I don't think
Yeah.
even his position is in danger. And he's a striker who wants the ball at his feet and who wants to run at defenders. He's not a
Okay.
typical striker where he looks for deliveries. So I guess we have a very good lineup and it should be the starting 11 in my
So
opinion.
your lineup consists of David De Gea starting in as a goalkeeper, and a back four consisting of Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, and Aaron Van Bissaka. And the midfield trio will be Pogba, Matic, and Bruno Fernandes. And the front three will be Marcus Rashford, Anthony Martial, and Mason Greenwood.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, this is his predicted lineup and his uh, expectation of the game. If you guys are have your own opinion, comment below, and please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.